The galaxy was calm on the night everything changed. Many star systems were sleeping in peace, and no one expected anything unusual. For thousands of years, humans were believed to be gone. Some said Earth died in a great war. Others said humanity left the galaxy and never returned. Most people thought humans were only an old story told to children. But all this changed in one single moment. Far away in the Orion expanse, an alien deep space monitoring station called Velora Watchpoint suddenly woke from silence. It was a lonely station floating near a dead star. Only 3 Valorian operators worked there. Their job was simple: watch the empty space and report anything strange. For the last 50 years, nothing strange had happened. But tonight the alarms started screaming. Red lights flashed through the control room. The floor vibrated softly. Screens came alive, showing bright waves of unknown energy. The oldest operator, Leaner, stood from his chair, confused. He had never seen this type of signal. "What is this?" he whispered. The young operator, Tira, checked her tablet. Her hands shook. "This energy, it's not possible. No species in the galaxy uses this power level." Another operator, Vesk, leaned close to the main screen. A white beam stretched across the dark space, like a cut in reality. "It looks like a tear," Vesk said. "As if something is breaking space open." For a long moment, no one spoke. The energy on the screen grew brighter, stronger, and more violent. The station shook again and the alarms became louder. "Should we report this to High Command?" Tira asked with fear. Leaner nodded. "Yes. Send the signal now." But before she could send the message, everything went silent. All alarms stopped. All lights turned black. The entire station lost power. They were now floating in complete darkness. Only one thing remained on, a single hologram screen, glowing softly in front of them. And on that screen, a symbol appeared. A symbol none of them had seen before, but all of them instantly understood. A blue circle, with a white star inside it. The emblem of Humanity Prime. The emblem of humans. Tira stepped back. "This is impossible. Humans are extinct. This symbol is ancient." Leaner swallowed hard. "If this is real, then something unbelievable is coming." Before anyone could process the moment, the space outside the station began to move. The dark void rippled like water. The tear opened wider, becoming a shining doorway made of pure light. From inside that doorway, a massive shadow appeared. A ship. But not like any ship they knew. It was larger than a dreadnought, more elegant than a royal cruiser, and carried an aura of silent power. Its metallic surface shimmered with shifting patterns, almost alive. Long energy wings stretched from its side, glowing with blue fire. Tira whispered, I can't scan it. My tools are not strong enough." "Not strong enough?" Vesk said. "We scanned black hole ships before. How can this be above our limit?" The ship slowly drifted forward, completely silent, yet carrying an incredible presence. It passed through the light doorway as though the laws of physics did not apply to it. The light doorway snapped shut behind the ship. Everything became quiet again. And then, a voice spoke inside their minds. All 3 operators froze. It was not a physical voice. Not a transmission. It was a telepathic broadcast. Calm, cold, and powerful. "This is Humanity Prime. Identify yourselves." Tira's legs weakened. She fell to her knees. Leaner almost dropped his device. Vesk stood frozen, unable to breathe. Leaner finally whispered, We are Valorians. This is Watchpoint Station. Who are you?" The mind voice replied again, stronger this time. "We are the first fleet of Humanity Prime. We return from the endless void." Tira forced herself to speak. "What do you want from us?" There was a long silence. Then the voice replied, "We do not come to attack. We come to observe the galaxy once more. But understand this, great danger is growing. A darkness is spreading. We cannot ignore it." The alien operators exchanged fearful looks. "What darkness?" Vesk asked shakily. The human voice answered, "A force that once destroyed Earth. It has awakened again." This single sentence chilled the room. The aliens realized something terrifying. Humans had not died. Humans had not disappeared. Humans had been fighting something in the endless void, something powerful enough to nearly erase them. Leaner whispered, "If humans survived that, what are they now?" Outside the station window, the massive human ship slowly turned, preparing to leave. Before it left, the mind voice spoke one last time. "We will return soon. Prepare your people. The galaxy will need allies." Then, like a shadow fading into darkness, the ship vanished. Not by engines, not by light speed. It simply blinked out of existence. Silence returned to the station. Tira finally found her voice. We need to warn everyone. If Humanity Prime has returned, everything is going to change. Leaner nodded slowly. Yes. The age of humans is beginning again. The news spread faster than light. Within hours, every major power in the nearby sectors received the same impossible message. Humans have returned. Not weak, not lost, not ancient ghosts, but stronger than ever. But no one understood how they returned, or why they sounded like they were warning the galaxy. The Valorian government was the first to act. Inside the tall, shining halls of the Valorian High Council, 12 alien leaders sat around a wide circular table. Their long blue faces were tense. Their eyes flickered nervously as they rewatched the recorded footage from the Watchpoint station. The Terran space, the light doorway, the massive unknown human ship, the telepathic message. Every second of the recording felt unreal. High Chancellor Rethner, the oldest and wisest among them, spoke first. Humans vanished 10,000 years ago, he said slowly. Their technology was impressive, but primitive compared to ours today. General Kovac, a strict military leader, disagreed. That ship is not primitive. That ship is beyond anything we understand. If the humans have achieved this level of power, they could destroy entire planets with one strike. A sharp silence filled the chamber. This was the fear everyone had, but no one wanted to say out loud. Counselor Lyax, famous for her calm mind, leaned forward. The voice said they do not come to attack, she reminded them. Rethner nodded. True. But their presence changes everything. Old alliances will break. Old enemies will wake. And the humans spoke of a great danger. Something that destroyed Earth. The room darkened as the gravity of those words filled the air. Should we believe them? Kovac asked. Or is this a trick? Before anyone could answer, a deep vibration shook the entire building. The council froze. Then another vibration. And another. This is not an attack, Lyax said softly. This is something else. The walls around them began glowing faintly, as if reacting to a strange energy in the air. A sudden wind blew through the sealed chamber. Impossible since the walls were solid metal. Everyone rose from their chairs. Rethner whispered, Is this the human ship again? But it was not. The lights flickered. The air turned cold. A shadow passed over the ceiling. Then, a pulse of dark red energy spread through the room like smoke. Lyax clutched her chest. What is this? Kovac drew his personal blaster, but the weapon fried instantly, melting in his hand. A voice echoed. Not like the calm human voice from before. Not telepathic. Not gentle. This voice was angry. Hungry. Ancient. They return? But they cannot stop us. Every council member froze in terror. The shadow energy swirled again, forming the shape of a giant creature made of darkness. Its eyes burned like fire. Its body shifted like smoke. It had no legs, only long, twisting forms like tentacles floating in the air. What are you? Rethner demanded, though his voice shook. The shadow creature laughed slowly. We are the ones the humans fear. We are the reason they hid in the endless void. Kovac stepped forward, sweating. If you are so powerful, why did the humans survive? The creature turned its burning gaze toward him. Because they ran. The shadow grew darker, thicker, spreading across the chamber floor like liquid night. But now, they return. And so do we. Lyax trembled. You cannot attack peaceful worlds. The Galactic Accords. The creature cut her off. Your laws mean nothing to us. Rethner suddenly understood the truth. This was the danger the humans warned about. This was the enemy that destroyed Earth. And this was only a small piece of it, a whisper. A warning. The shadow creature's body flickered and faded as though it was growing weaker. Before disappearing fully, it spoke one last time. Tell your galaxy, the endless void is breaking open. The creature vanished. The temperature returned to normal. The wind stopped. But the fear remained. The council sat in silence, too shocked to speak. After a long moment, Rethner finally said, We must contact the humans. Lyax nodded slowly. Yes. If this enemy is real, no species in the galaxy can stand alone. But Kovac still looked afraid. What if the humans brought this danger with them? He whispered. No one had an answer. Meanwhile, on the human ship. Far away in the dark space, the legendary human flagship HSS Infinity Spear floated silently. Its metal surface shimmered like a living creature. Energy wings glowed softly, folding in and out like breathing. Inside the command deck, a tall human commander stood at the center. Commander Eric Solis, leader of Humanity Prime's First Fleet. His eyes were calm. His face was cold. And his mind was focused. A young soldier approached him. Commander, alien worlds detected a void echo. Eric nodded. I know. It means the enemy is awake. Should we reveal ourselves? The soldier asked. Eric looked out into the endless dark. No, he said. Not yet. The galaxy is not ready for the truth. The soldier hesitated. What truth, sir? Eric replied softly. That we did not survive the void, by strength alone. We survived because we became something else. The soldier swallowed nervously. Something else. Eric's eyes glowed faintly with blue light. Yes. Humanity evolved. While the Valorian High Council recovered from the shock, far across the galaxy something else was happening, something even more unbelievable. The human First Fleet had arrived, but they were not the same humans the galaxy remembered. Their return began to spread through secret channels, whispered between spies, smugglers and patrol captains. But no one had the full story. No one understood where humans had gone. No one knew how they survived. But soon the truth would begin to reveal itself. Inside the HSS Infinity Sphere. The ship's command deck was massive, shaped like a curved triangle, filled with soft blue lighting and silent machines that responded to thoughts, not buttons. Every tool, every panel, every weapon was controlled by a form of mental energy. This was not old human technology. This was something evolved. Commander Eric Solis stood at the center, watching a hologram of the galaxy rotate slowly above the floor. Blue lines marked the known civilizations. Red lines marked the growing zones of void corruption. The red zones were spreading faster than expected. Too fast. A female officer walked to him. Her name was Saran Hale, second in command of the fleet. Her uniform shimmered as if woven from starlight. Commander, the void echo has been confirmed, she said quietly. It contacted the Valorians. Eric nodded. I sensed it. The enemy is testing the galaxy. Saran looked uneasy. They will not be ready, sir. You know this. Eric's face hardened. That is why we must move. He raised his hand and the hologram zoomed outward. At the edge of the map, a single blue symbol flashed, the emblem of Humanity Prime. Set course for the nearest Valorian world, Eric ordered. We will observe from distance. Saran hesitated. Should we make direct contact? No, Eric said firmly. Not yet. The galaxy remembers humans as warriors. Some fear us. Some hate us. Some want to control us. He turned, gazing at the giant window where stars drifted quietly. When they see what we have become, fear will rise again. Saran looked at him, confused. What we have become? Eric stepped closer to the window. He lifted his hand and tiny sparks of blue energy flickered around his fingers like living fire. We are no longer simple humans, he said. We carry the legacy of Earth, but also the power of the endless void. We adapted to survive what no other species could face. Saran swallowed hard. You mean, the void changed us? Eric nodded. Yes. And now the galaxy must understand the danger. Meanwhile, Valorian Space Patrol. Across the galaxy, a small patrol frigate named VWS Shieldlight drifted through space near a quiet sector. The crew was relaxed, expecting nothing important. Humans were only a rumor to them. Captain Relax sat with a cup of steaming blue liquid, listening lazily to reports. Empty sector. No threats. Radiation normal. Everything looked peaceful. Until the main scanner blinked. Captain, the navigation officer said in a shaky voice, I think you should see this. Relax groaned. What now? He walked to the screen. Then he froze. A massive shadow-like structure was forming in space. It looked like a storm, dark, swirling energy spreading in a huge spiral. What is that? Relax whispered. The ship's AI answered. Void rift detected. Relax dropped his cup. A void rift? That is impossible. Those things only appear in old myths. The officer shook his head. Sir, it's growing larger. The dark cloud expanded, stretching out like long fingers. Lightning-like energy crackled inside it. The stars behind it vanished completely. Relax panicked. Send a distress call. Now. Before they could send a signal, an explosion of dark energy hit the patrol ship. The lights flickered. The engine screamed. The crew fell to the floor. What is happening? The officer shouted. The rift pulsed again and a figure emerged. A creature. The same type of shadow being that appeared in the Valorian Council. But this one was bigger. Much bigger. It floated toward the patrol ship like a massive ghost, its body made of darkness, its eyes burning red. Rilek tried to stand, but fear crushed his strength. The creature spoke. Not with telepathy. Not with sound. But with pure pressure, like its voice was pushing into their souls. The humans run from us no more. Now we hunt together. Rilek trembled violently. Humans? Hunt? What do you mean? The creature drifted closer. The void is hungry. We will feed it. Suddenly, a bright blue beam shot through space, thin, sharp, and impossibly fast. The shadow creature screamed as the beam pierced its chest, burning through the darkness. The rift behind it flickered and collapsed instantly. The patrol crew watched in shock as the shadow creature dissolved into smoke and vanished. Everything became silent again. Rilek could barely speak. What saved us? Then they saw it. A giant human ship slowly appeared from invisibility, glowing wings unfolding like a majestic beast awakening. The HSS Infinity Spear. Rilek's heart froze. Humans, they really returned. The ship did not contact them. It only scanned the destroyed rift, then turned away quietly, as if watching something far beyond the patrol ship's imagination. Back inside the human flagship, Saran approached Eric again. Another rift destroyed, sir. But they are multiplying. If this continues? It will continue, Eric said calmly. They're coming. And soon the galaxy will see what we already know. Saran looked at him. And what is that? Eric turned, eyes glowing with blue void light. That the war which destroyed Earth has begun again. Every corner of the galaxy was in chaos. The Valorians were panicking. The Zyran Empire had activated their hidden fleets. The Korth Dominion sealed their borders. Merchants refused to travel. Scientists fought over theories. Not because humans returned, but because something followed them. The void rifts, the shadow creatures, the cold whispers spreading through the stars. Galactic civilizations had seen wars, invasions, plagues, even black hole weapons, but they had never faced something that looked like living darkness. And the only species that understood this enemy was the one they feared the most. Humanity Prime. Inside humanity's flagship, the Infinity Spear, Commander Eric Solis stood in the observation chamber. The room was a large circular space with an open view of the galaxy. No windows, just a transparent energy field that separated the humans from the cold void outside. Stars floated silently. Nebulas glowed like giant clouds. Void rifts flickered at the very edge of vision like dying flames. Saran Hale entered the room quietly. Sir, we intercepted transmissions, she reported. The Valorian Council is requesting urgent contact. Other species are panicking. Some are preparing defenses. Eric did not turn around. Fear is natural, he said. The galaxy always feared humans. Saran nodded. Yes. But now they fear something worse. Eric's eyes glowed faintly blue. The void. Saran hesitated. Sir, they want answers. They want to know what happened to Earth. Eric closed his eyes. For a moment he said nothing. Then he spoke with a heavy voice. Prepare the memory archive. The galaxy must hear the truth. The truth of Earth, humanity's lost history. A large hologram activated in the center of the room. It showed Earth, blue oceans, green forests, white clouds. Beautiful. Alive. Saran stepped closer. This is Earth before the fall? Eric nodded. Yes. Before the silence. The hologram changed. Earth now looked darker. Storms raged across continents. The sky was filled with unnatural black energy. Saran frowned. The void. No, Eric said. Not yet. The hologram zoomed out to show a massive object approaching Earth. It was not a ship. Not a comet. Not a natural force. A dark sphere. Covered in pulses of red veins. Rotating slowly like a giant heart. Saran gasped. What is that? Eric looked at the image with sorrow. We called it the first seed of the void. The hologram replayed the moment Earth's sky cracked open, and the first seed unleashed a wave of living darkness across the planet. Cities collapsed. Mountains shattered. Oceans boiled. Humanity screamed. Saran whispered, How did we survive? Eric stepped forward. The humans you know did not survive. Saran froze. What? Eric turned to her, his eyes glowing stronger. The species you see now, Humanity Prime, was born in the void. We are descendants of the survivors who fell into it. We evolved. We changed. We learned to control the same power the enemy uses. He lifted his hand. Blue energy flickered across his skin. We became something new. Saran stared at him in shock. So humans didn't flee into the void, they were pulled into it? Eric nodded. And the void tried to consume us. But it failed. The hologram shifted again. It showed giant human ships, ancient, damaged, being swallowed by black storms. It was inside that darkness, Eric said, that we rebuilt. We created fleets. We reshaped our bodies. We learned to use void light against the enemy. Saran stepped back. Is that why the galaxy feared your return? Eric nodded. They sense our evolution. They sense the power we carry. Saran whispered, a power they cannot understand. Meanwhile, Valorian Council emergency session. The 12 council members watched the same hologram stream transmitted from the Infinity Sphere. Earth's destruction. The first seed. Humans being consumed by the void. Humans evolving inside it. Fear spread across the room like poison. Counselor Lyax whispered, humans, adapted to the void? General Kovac slammed his fist on the table. This is dangerous. They carry void power inside them. How do we know they are not corrupted? Refner raised a hand. Calm yourself. They warned us about the darkness. Kovac pointed at the projection. Or they brought that darkness back. Lyax shook her head. Look at the recordings. They saved our patrol ship. They destroyed the void rift. Kovac growled. Or they are fighting their own monsters. Refner finally spoke. Enough. Contact Humanity Prime. We need a direct meeting. Back on the human flagship. Eric received the Valorian message. His expression did not change. Saran asked, Sir, will you answer their call? Eric did not reply immediately. Instead, he zoomed the hologram out, revealing a frightening truth. Void rifts were appearing across multiple systems. Dozens of them. Then hundreds. Saran's breath caught in her throat. This is an invasion. Eric looked at her with calm sadness. No. This is vengeance. Saran trembled. What should we do? Eric turned toward the main deck. Prepare the fleet. Saran blinked. For battle? No, Eric said softly. For the galaxy's awakening. They must understand that the war which destroyed Earth. His eyes flared with blue void light. Is coming for them next. While the galaxy argued, feared, and prepared for what they did not understand, Humanity Prime moved with calm purpose. They had seen this enemy before. They had survived its darkness. They had rebuilt in places no living species could bear. But now, they were returning home. Not to conquer. Not to rule. But to stop the same monster that once ended their world. And to do that, they needed more than one ship. They needed the legendary Starfleet. Inside the Infinity Sphere, command deck. Commander Eric Solis stood on the elevated platform at the center of the room. Officers were running scans, preparing systems, and aligning energy wings. The air buzzed with quiet urgency. Saran Hale approached him, holding a glowing tablet. Sir, the void rifts are growing faster. At their current rate, they will reach the core worlds in 2 weeks. Eric did not react with fear. Then the fleet must awaken. Saran hesitated. Are they ready? Some of them have slept for centuries. Others have not tested their new cores since the last Void War. Eric looked at the glowing galaxy hologram. They must be ready. Or the galaxy will fall. He raised his hand. A long, low hum filled the ship. Lights dimmed. Then brightened with a strong blue flash. Send the signal, Eric commanded. Saran touched her tablet. All right, Commander. The activation message is broadcasting. The entire ship vibrated once, deep, powerful like a heart beating after long sleep. Deep in the endless void, the silent hangars. Far away from the galaxy, hidden in a region where normal physics collapsed, giant structures floated in darkness. These were not natural formations. They were ancient human hangars, massive rings of metal and floating spires, created inside the void itself. Inside them slept hundreds of ships. Colossal battleships. Fast-moving spear cruisers. Long-winged shadow frigates. And ships that looked almost alive, covered in energy veins and crystalline armor. All of them carried the emblem of Humanity Prime. For thousands of years they waited. Silent. Dormant. Watching the darkness. Listening for a single call. Now it came. A blue wave spread across the void hangars. Every ship flickered once, like a sleeping giant opening its eyes. Then another flicker. Then their thrusters ignited, glowing in bright blue void light. One by one. Row by row. Ship by ship. Humanity's legendary Starfleet awakened. The fleet commander appears. Inside the largest hangar, a ship bigger than all others came alive. A monstrous vessel shaped like a spearhead, covered in shifting metal plates and blue fire. Its name burned on its armored hull. HSS Eternal Horizon, second flagship of Humanity Prime. Inside its command bridge, another powerful human stood from a long stasis chamber. A woman with silver hair, glowing eyes and a calm, heavy presence. Admiral Lyra Vance. She took a deep breath and whispered, "We return, after 10,000 years." Her crew, rising from their own chambers, saluted her in silence. Lyra stepped to her command chair. "Connect me to the Infinity Spear." A hologram formed. Commander Eric Solis appeared. "Admiral Vance," Eric greeted with a slight bow. Lyra smiled softly. "You woke us sooner than expected." "The void is moving," Eric replied. "The galaxy needs us." Lyra looked ahead at the awakening ships. "They won't understand what we have become." "No," Eric agreed. "But they will understand the enemy when it reaches their doors." Meanwhile, galaxy panic reaches its peak. Across different civilizations. Valorian capital. Alarms rang. Scientists screamed. Void readings jumped off the scale. People ran in the streets. Zyran Empire. The Empress demanded war readiness. She suspected humans brought this threat. Rockler Union. Merchants closed all trade routes, fearing shadow attacks. Tessar Republic. Their leaders debated whether to welcome humans, or shoot them on sight. Everyone had questions. Very few had courage. No one had answers. But they all knew one truth. Something old and terrible was returning. Back on the Infinity Spear, the call to arms. Eric watched the fleet awakening across the void, thousands of ships forming disciplined lines as if they had been asleep only a moment, not centuries. Saran whispered, "Sir, they're beautiful." Eric nodded. Humanity rebuilt itself to face the darkness. The galaxy will soon see what we truly are. A sound like thunder echoed across space. The Eternal Horizon jumped into view beside the Infinity Spear, glowing with enormous power. Admiral Lyra Vance appeared on a screen. "All vessels are online. All systems stable. Awaiting orders." Eric raised his hand and the command deck fell completely silent. He spoke with a calm, steady voice. "Humans once loved the stars. We once sought peace. But the void tried to erase us. It failed." He looked at the fleet outside. "We now hold the fire that darkness fears. And we will use it not for revenge, but to save the galaxy that forgot us." Every officer straightened. Every ship aligned. Every engine roared to life. Eric gave the order that would change the galaxy forever. "Humanity Prime Starfleet, prepare for re-entry into known space." Lyra smiled. "Welcome home, humanity." The fleet moves. The void cracked with blue lightning. Thousands of ships formed into perfect formations. Then, a massive burst of energy exploded outward. The legendary Starfleet shot forward, all ships jumping at once, creating a wave of light across the darkness. They were returning. Not as refugees. Not as broken survivors. But as the most powerful fleet the galaxy had ever seen. Humanity Prime entered the battlefield like a rising storm. For thousands of years, humans were missing from the galaxy. Many believed they were gone forever. Many forgot their strength. Many forgot their courage. And many forgot their warning. "Do not wake humanity." But now, humanity was awake again. Commander Aiden Cross stood on the bridge of the human flagship HMS Titanus, watching the holographic map of the galaxy shift and brighten. Red marks showed enemy fleets closing in. Blue marks showed allied planets calling for help. And in the center, shining like a star, was Humanity Prime. The Solaris Union, the species that captured human refugees long ago, had sent a massive fleet to test humanity's return. They believed humans were still weak. They believed humans were still lost in the past. But they were wrong. Very wrong. The enemy approaches. Aiden gave a calm order, "Open a visual on the incoming Solaris fleet." The screen lit up. Huge enemy battleships filled the dark. Their armor was bright gold, their cannons glowing blue. The Solaris Union believed their technology was the highest in the galaxy. Their ships were powered by rare star cores. Their weapons could break moons. But Aiden smiled. "Poor fools," he whispered. "They think this is enough." In front of him, human officers watched nervously. Many were young soldiers born on hidden colonies. This was their first real war. They didn't know what a full human fleet could do. They had never seen the power of old Earth's forgotten technology. But Aiden knew. He had studied every war Earth ever fought. Humanity never attacked first. But when forced into war, humanity fought like fire. The first warning shot. The Solaris commander appeared on screen. A tall, shining alien with eyes like white light. This territory now belongs to the Solaris Union, it said. Humanity is advised to surrender peacefully. We know your species is rebuilding. We know you lack real strength. The alien smirked. You humans always believed you could rise again. But legends are only legends. Aiden answered with a calm voice, if you truly believe that, then turn back. The alien laughed. We will destroy you. Aiden nodded slightly. Very well. He raised his hand. Fire warning shot. A single beam of white energy shot from Titanus. It passed through the space between both fleets. It was calm. Elegant. Clean. But the moment it passed, every enemy sensor shut down. Every Solaris ship shook violently. Their shields flickered as if struck by a storm. The alien commander's smile vanished. What was that? Aiden spoke softly, that was us being polite. The battle begins. The Solaris fleet, angered and embarrassed, opened fire. Thousands of plasma rounds. Missiles like falling stars. Energy beams cutting across the void. But the human ships didn't fall. Shields activated with a deep, rumbling hum. Titanus glowed with silver-white armor plates. Human destroyers moved in perfect formation. Every enemy weapon hit the shields and vanished like dust in the wind. Aiden pointed forward. Now, humanity responds. Human ships accelerated with impossible speed. Solaris vessels tried to lock targets, but human ships were too fast. Aiden gave another command. Gravity lances. Minimal power. A series of thin blue beams fired from human cruisers. Where they hit, enemy ships bent like soft metal. Solaris hulls folded. Armor twisted. Engines exploded from the inside. One by one, massive enemy ships turned into silent wrecks. The universe watched the impossible. Old, forgotten humans were winning. Easily. Humanity's real power revealed. Inside the Solaris flagship, panic spread. They said humans were primitive. They said humans had no star cores. They said humans were rebuilding. They lied. The Solaris commander shouted, retreat. Retreat now. But it was too late. Aiden turned to his officers. Deploy the Prime Shield. A giant sphere of light expanded from Humanity Prime. The entire human fleet glowed. The shield reached the enemy fleet. And something shocking happened. Every Solaris weapon stopped working. Every engine failed. Every ship froze in place. Humanity wasn't attacking now. Humanity was simply demonstrating. The Solaris commander appeared again, terrified. What is this power? Aiden answered. This is Earth's final gift. Our ancestors built it before the Dark Age. A defense field that cannot be broken. A power only humans can control. The alien commander whispered. What are you? Aiden looked him straight in the eyes. We are Humanity Prime. And we are done hiding. The message sent across the galaxy. Humanity released the enemy ships, without destroying them. Aiden gave the final order. Send this message across the galaxy. Humanity does not start wars. But humanity finishes them. We protect those who need help. We do not bow. We rise. The message spread across all star systems. Allies cheered. Enemies trembled. Old enemies started making plans to run. New threats began to fear. Ancient races awakened. And in the center of it all, Humanity Prime stood bright like a star. The galaxy now understood one truth. If humans rise, no force in the universe can stop them. The galaxy had not seen a storm like this in 10,000 years. Humanity Prime's return had changed everything. Some species cheered. Some species begged for help. Some species hid in fear. But a few wanted revenge. And those few were planning something dark. Commander Aiden Cross knew it. He could feel the tension like a silent warning in the air. Humanity had won the first battle. But the war was only beginning. The quiet before the final storm. After the clash with the Solaris Union, the human fleet returned to Humanity Prime. Citizens filled the streets, cheering the soldiers who returned home victorious. But Aiden didn't smile. He stood on the highest balcony of the defense spire, watching the stars. Beside him stood Admiral Celine Ward, an old friend and one of the smartest minds in the human fleet. She spoke softly. You're thinking about the message they sent, aren't you? Aiden nodded. Before retreating, the Solaris commander sent one final warning. You humans think you are strong. But you have awakened something older than us. Something that hates your kind. Celine sighed. They speak of the Eidolon Dominion, don't they? Aiden didn't answer. He didn't have to. The Eidolons were a myth, an ancient empire that once tried to conquer the entire galaxy. Their ships were like shadows. Their weapons turned planets to dust. And their hatred for humanity was legendary. If they were returning, the galaxy was in danger. A signal from the outer void. 3 days later, long-range sensors detected a strange signal coming from the edge of the Milky Way. A repeating pulse. Aiden walked into the command room. Officers stood, tense and silent. "What do we have?" he asked. "Sir," an officer said, "the signal is too advanced for known species. The pattern is old. Very old." A hologram flickered. A ruined star system appeared. Every planet shattered. Every moon split. Every trace of life erased. Aiden felt the room grow colder. "What happened here?" Celine whispered. The computer translated the signal. It said only 4 words. "We have returned, humans." The Eidolon Dominion was awake again. Humanity's biggest test yet. Humanity Prime held an emergency meeting. Leaders from all hidden colonies appeared. Generals, scientists, fleet captains. People who had waited centuries for the day humanity rose again. Aiden stepped forward. "Eidolon Dominion has destroyed 7 systems so far. They have technology older than our records. They want us gone." A silence filled the hall. Then Admiral Celine spoke. "Humanity is stronger than ever before. We have our Starfleet. We have the Prime Shield. We have the Void engines. We are not the broken race we once were." Aiden nodded. "But this enemy will test us in ways no one has seen." He looked at the fleet captains. "We fight not only for ourselves. We fight for every species that cannot defend itself. We fight for the galaxy." The room echoed. "For the galaxy." The arrival of the Eidolon fleet. Hours later, the sky above Humanity Prime turned black. People stared upward as a dark cloud slowly spread across the stars. Not smoke. Not dust. Ships. Thousands of them. Long, sharp ships made of obsidian-like metal. Glowing red cracks along their sides. Silent. Cold. Terrifying. The Eidolon Dominion had arrived. As every alarm sounded, Aiden stood on the bridge of the Titanus. Officer Maya shouted, "Sir, they are powering weapons." Aiden responded calmly, "Activate Prime Shield. Bring the fleet online. Prepare void cannons." Outside, the human fleet formed a wall of light. Silver ships. Blue engines. Glowing white shields. The galaxy watched the 2 greatest forces in history face each other. The battle that shook the stars. The Eidolon fleet fired first. Dark beams cut through the void like knives. Space itself cracked around them. Small moons exploded instantly. But when the beams hit Humanity Prime's shield, the shield absorbed everything. Not a scratch. Not a dent. Not even a flicker. Aiden smiled. "They cannot break us." "Human fleet," he commanded, "counterattack." Every human ship fired at once. Gravity lances. Starburst missiles. Void cannons. The Eidolon ships twisted, screamed, shattered. One by one, the silent giants began to fall. But the Eidolons were ancient. They adapted fast. A massive shadow ship, larger than a planet, moved forward. It fired a beam so powerful that even the Prime Shield trembled. Aiden shouted, "Reinforce! Reinforce!" The shield held. But barely. Celine whispered, "If they fire again, the shield may not survive." Aiden took a slow breath. "Then we end this now." Humanity's hidden power. He activated a secret command code. Something no human had used in 4,000 years. Archon Protocol. Every ship received the signal. Every engine lit up with blinding white fire. Every weapon glowed brighter than a sun. Aiden shouted, "For Humanity Prime." The fleet answered, "For Humanity Prime." Human ships charged together. They moved faster than light. They struck harder than supernovas. Their weapons tore through the shadow fleet like paper. The giant Eidolon planet ship tried to retreat. Aiden whispered one final order. "Void cannon. Maximum power." The Titanus fired. A colossal beam ripped through the darkness. The ancient ship split apart, then exploded in a storm of white energy that lit half the galaxy. The battle was over. Humanity had won. The legend begins. As the smoke cleared, every allied species began sending one message after another. "Humanity Prime, thank you. We stand with you. You are the protectors of the galaxy now." For the first time in history, the galaxy united behind one race. Humanity. On the balcony of the defense spire, Aiden looked up at the stars. Celine joined him. She smiled softly. You did it. We did it. Humanity is back. Aiden didn't answer. He just watched the sky. Because he knew something important. This was not the end. This was the beginning of a new age. Humanity's age. The age of Humanity Prime. The legendary Starfleet. The protectors of the endless void. And their story was only starting.